Hello and welcome to Left, Right, Center. I'm Sean Boyd. This week we are focusing on some of the big statewide ballot measures. Coloradans will decide on a dozen initiatives and constitutional amendments this November, including Initiative 89, which guarantees the right to abortion in the state constitution and allows government funding of abortion. Initiative 91, which bans the hunting and trapping of mountain lions, bobcats, and lynx. And Initiative 310, which makes some big changes to state and federal elections here. Instead of party primaries, all candidates, regardless of party, would be on one ballot. The top four finishers would advance to the general election, where voters would rank them in the order of preference. Under that ranked choice voting, if a candidate receives more than 50% of the vote, they win. If not, the last place finisher is eliminated and his or her votes are reallocated to the candidate's voters ranked second. The elimination process continues until one candidate has 50%. Joining me, our analysts, Republican Dick Wadhams, Democrat Mike Dino. So let's start with that ranked choice voting. And in the interest of full disclosure, Dick is helping out with the campaign in favor of it. So, you know, Dick, we hear about Colorado having the gold standard for elections. So why does Colorado need to change things here?
I mean, we do have a great process. I mean, our mail balloting process is secure, it's efficient, but the political process overall needs to be adjusted. And this is why, because right now, both parties are moving to their extremes. We have Democrats moving to that Democratic Socialist corner and Republicans moving to that MAGA stolen election corner. And meanwhile, 50% of the electorate is now unaffiliated. They're voting with their feet. They're saying, we don't like either party. And so we need to allow voters to vote in any election that they want to. And we do that with an open primary. They can vote for anybody they want to in any race. There's no restriction on being a Republican or Democrat. And I think this will make the system stronger. And then the top four go to a ranked choice voting situation where you have to get 50% to win. And I think that this is a really good reform of our process that will make us better.
So, Mike, you know, there are Democrats and Republicans who are in favor of this. There are also Democrats and Republicans who are opposed to this. Who does this benefit?
Well, I think Dick, is right. I mean, it does benefit those who don't want to be a part of any party. I mean, the open primary process is pretty proven in particularly states like California and Louisiana. And I think it will appeal to people who aren't affiliated with the party. So that's a big positive. Ranked choice voting gets a little more complicated. We've certainly seen how it plays out in Alaska, where the Democrats benefited a couple years ago. They're clearly in the minority up there, and they managed to get a woman elected to Congress. Now, the parties are figuring this out, particularly the Republican Party up there, and this time they've kind of wised up and consolidated around one candidate so that they have a better chance. But there's still a lot of consternation up in Alaska whether they want to keep ranked choice voting. But I think I've been a proponent of it, and I'd like to see it implemented here.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. Well, from ranked choice voting to a ban on mountain lion hunting, let's talk about Initiative 91. So, Mike, the last time voters weighed in on a wildlife initiative was the wolf reintroduction, and we don't want to go there right now.
No.
So isn't Parks and Wildlife really better positioned to decide on an issue like this?
Well, they should be. What we've seen in Colorado, obviously the initiative, ballot initiatives and policy by ballot has become very popular in Colorado. I think, we've made it harder to put things in the Constitution by mandating a 55% of a vote to approve something for the Constitution. But, yeah, animal rights activists, I think, have a very active constituency here. And for whatever reason, the mountain lions and the bobcats and the lynx have come to their attention, even as we see these animals intrude in metro areas. And it will probably fall more and more on government to manage their presence, and if the public can't do it.
Yeah, Dick, proponents of this ballot measure say hunting mountain lions is cruel and inhumane, but Parks and Wildlife says it's a way of maintaining a stable population, really. It caps how many of these cats that hunters can take each year. We saw where voters came down, at least in the urban area, on the wolf reintroduction. Do you see that playing out in the same way with this mountain lion hunting.
Well, this is another case of ballot box biology running amok. I mean, it's just, I would trust the scientists and the wildlife managers, the professionals. And it's interesting because the left is constantly saying, we need to listen to the science. We need to listen to the scientists. Well, they're not in this one. They're just following this kind of emotional thing. We shouldn't be killing these cats. Now, I have no interest in killing cats. You know, I love cats. I mean, so, even the big cats. But nevertheless, there is good public policy in maintaining their numbers, and also there's an economic impact on this too. Hunting is a big deal in Colorado, and a lot of these, once again, rural Colorado is going to get the wrong end of this thing, and it's going to hurt them. So.
Though I don't think hunting mountain lions is a big.
Oh, more than you might think, from what I've read.
Well,
it does generate some money for Parks and Wildlife because they hand out the permits each year to hunt them. I'm not exactly sure.
Well, I don't know too many bobcat hunters.
Well, you're one of those urbanites.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Nobody's hunting bobcats in North Denver.
All right, ahead, another controversial ballot initiative having to do with abortions in Colorado. Welcome back to Left, Right, Center. Ballot measures regarding abortion are nothing new in Colorado, but while previous initiatives have tried to limit it, this year's Initiative 89 would protect it, cementing it in the Constitution. So, Dick, it would also repeal a 40-year ban on the use of taxpayer dollars for abortion to pay for it. So that means like public employee insurance, grants, Medicaid, all of that could be used. Coloradans have overwhelmingly voted against these initiatives to limit abortion. So do you see them doing the same in this case, too, especially with the money part of this involved?
Yeah, I think voters will be very uncomfortable with public funding of abortion. I really do. And in fact, in 1984, when that was passed, the people who were opposed to it tried to repeal it 4 years later, and the repeal went down bigger than what it was passed to begin with. And so I just think a lot of people who are inherently pro-choice are uncomfortable with tax dollars going to abortion. And I think the more that voters understand that this is going to have some problems.
So, if it had just been, let's put it in the Constitution, make sure the right to abortion is protected in the Constitution, probably would have passed, but you add the taxpayer dollars in to pay for abortion and...
Yes, I think that complicates it, and I think it's going to make it tougher to pass. I'm not saying it won't pass, but I think it's going to make it tougher.
Yeah, Mike, do you think this will help Democrats with turnout? You know, sometimes that's what these ballot measures regarding abortion do.
I think so. I mean, I think the campaigns in Colorado, certainly on the congressional level, we have one very competitive race in the 8th CD in the North Metro up to Greeley. And we are seeing around the United States congressional races using the abortion rights issue, particularly Democrats, to, one, bolster their messaging and their turnout. And the decision with Roe versus Wade in the Supreme Court certainly has made it a flashpoint issue and seems to motivate voters. So I think we'll see it play out in Colorado, at the very least at the 8th, and some of maybe the legislative races. But that's why we see this ballot measure. I mean, I think that the state wants to codify it in the Constitution and to make a strong message to the Supreme Court and to, the Republican Party that we're not going to allow this to be legislated or to be judged against us.
To be rolled back at all.
Yeah, to be rolled back.
Yeah. Well, in the weeks ahead, we will be breaking down some of the other ballot measures. But that's it for this week. Thanks for watching Left, Right, Center. We'll see you next time.